Hello, it's Sally here from Dotty Bee. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be working on my Stitch the Seasons, which is a project that Corinne from To Be Loved Treasures has thought up, and I'm following along with it. So far, I'm just going to bring this up a little bit so you can see. I've stitched the top of my project, and this was all done last time I videoed it. Since then, I've done a little bit of work on the hydrangea in ribbon embroidery, which I'm quite pleased about. It's turned out really well, saying I've only done ribbon embroidery a couple of times. I've stitched some more leaves. This is just in a stem stitch, satin stitch, and I think there may be a little bit of split stitch in that as well. I already completed the leaves. I don't know if you can see these, but I've put some veins in them because they weren't looking quite finished, so I've put some veins in them just to give them a little bit more dimension, I suppose. I have also done this flower here. Now this was like a trumpet type flower, so there was like the neck of the trumpet, and then I've used some lace and some pistol stitches in the middle. I'm not 100% happy with this. I don't know whether it's too bulky or the stitches are too big. I don't know. I may undo some of those and put some finer thread, use some finer thread. I might even put some beading on. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% happy with that, so I will look at that again. Then I carried on down to these leaves here. So I've done these in several different fabrics, layered up, a little bit of feather stitch and some just random stitching, satin stitch, running stitch. So I've done all of these leaves here, and there's one over here as well. I've just got one left, which I'm going to show you today how I went about making them. And then I've concentrated on these flowers here. I think there's some kind of anemone maybe. I'm not sure what kind of flowers they are. So I decided to use some not pom-poms, yo-yos for here. So this is the first one that I did, and I've kind of folded it down a little bit because that was kind of the shape of the flower, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to tackle this one as well. So I'm going to do this one today. Yeah, so that's where I am at the moment. Let me just grab my chair. So I'm going to start with this leaf here, and I've got several green fabrics that I'm going to use to layer them up, and I'm just going to trace the leaf first of all, so it gives me a guide. I'm going just slightly over what's already there, just to cover it up a little bit. I don't really want to see that. So there's my leaf shape, and I'm going to start with my first fabric that I'm going to use. So it's just a kind of like a leafy fabric that I'm going to use. So I'm going to get that cut out. It doesn't have to be perfect. Let's see how that looks. Yep, just as long as it covers the leaf that's already there. Okay, so next came the second fabric, which I'm doing these leaves all the same, in the same layering, which are a little bit lighter to these ones that I did. They're a little bit darker. So these ones, this one, I'm using a shade lighter just because I think they're in the forefront of the vase rather than these being kind of towards the back, and also a different variety of leaf. So I'm going to use, this is my second fabric, and I'm going to roughly cut it out again. So it's roughly the same, but I'm going to just use half. So I'm going to use this half, this side. So where that leaf starts, I'm just going to trim that back because I won't need it. So that's going to be this half of the leaf. Okay, then I'm going to, I've got a slightly darker just to give it a little bit more contrast. And I'm just going to cut out kind of like I don't know, an ovalish type of shape. Not quite. Let me just get rid of that little, see what that's like. Yeah, so that's gone down more or less centrally to the leaf, and then I'm going to use a lighter colour for the vein of the leaf. So that's just a long strip, roughly about the size, well, it's a little bit longer actually, but I don't mind because on some of these I've actually, I don't know whether you can see or not, I've actually come down a little bit lower than the leaf itself, and I think that looks, I quite like that effect. So I'm just going to trim the ends to make a point. Sorry, it's tricky. When you get to all the little thin pieces, they can be quite tricky. So let's see how we go with this. Right, we just have to have a fiddle around with it and see where it lies best. Yeah, I quite like it like that, but I think it is a little bit too long actually, so I'm just going to snip some of it off. Once we've got the stitching on, it will look a lot different. So I'm going to glue it down. Take those ones off first. No, they're not coming off. Right. So on there. Doesn't matter too much if I go over because I'll be putting something over the top of that anyway. Whether it's stitching or fabric, I'm not sure what I'm doing with these yet. I've not really thought about them. I didn't think I'd get this far so quickly actually. We're going with this one, going over that side, aren't we? I thought it would take me a lot longer to do these leaves, but as soon as they started to build up, I thought, yeah. So I did a whole batch of them, got them all done, apart from this one. Right, that's that. Let's get that out of the way. So I'm going to, first of all, start down the centre vein, and I'm going to do a feather stitch. So I have already got my needle threaded. I'm going to start catching some of the fabric. Just need to be a little bit gentle with it because it will come up, but should be able to get it all down. Right. Have I just gone wrong? What have I done here? Oh dear me, it's completely wrong. Let's try again. So much for threading my needle to be all ready and prepared. No, it's not going to work. The eye is too small. I can't see it. Let's try this one. No, it's not having it. What's this one like? It's a bit bigger. There we go. Right, let's try again. I don't know what happened there. I wasn't concentrating. This needle's a bit thick. I have to go up and down, I think, rather than stab it, rather than work on top. That just seems to have gone a bit wonky, but doesn't matter. Because of all the layers that I've already got on this, I've got my backing fabric, and I've got the fabric that I did in the patchwork, then I've got the vase fabric, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 layers here. It is quite difficult to get through with the needle. But we've only got a few stitches, it's not like we've got that many to get through. Although I'm trying to keep part of the stitch on the actual lighter stem vein that we're using, I'm going off to either side just to try and catch some fabric. There we go, and then I think I might do another one. Just carry it down a little bit. I think one more. Like that, and then just finish that off there. Okay. So that's that colour. I'm then going to use a different colour, darker colour, to just add a little bit of interest to the leaf, which will help me tie it all down. This is really random. I'm going to do, I have got a method in this. I'm going to go round the outside to get it all down, and then I'm going to go inside, just random stitching. So first of all, I'm doing little stitches, but they can be close together or wider apart. Obviously you don't want to go too wide, because this is all about tying the fabrics down, securing the fabrics down to the picture. But they can be, you know, fairly spread apart, or you can go really close. I think they can go in different directions. It just adds a little bit more interest. It can be, there you see, they're not even at all. just go randomly wherever you like, as long as you're securing your fabric down. You can have a few together. Going similar in a similar direction, like that. And then you can do something different, just go over here like that, and then we're working, whereas those are going off on one side, that one's straight on. Just think it adds a little bit more interest. I'm getting caught up. Turn that around a little bit. See if I can. Right, so I'm going down to the bottom of the leaf now, where there isn't that much fabric to, but because we've taken our feather stitch down, I am going to carry on down a little bit. And just do a couple of tiny stitches, just so you can see the outline of the leaf, even if there's not quite that much leaf there. And then we're going to go back up. Again, it doesn't matter if you go over stitches. Just randomly going along. Okay, so we're going one way. Bigger one. This is just going in and back up, up, down, back up, and making marks. And at the same time, making sure the fabric is nice and secure. So that's the outside. I'm going to go back into the middle, and we're going to just make sure these are all tied down. Again, it doesn't matter where you stitch. We've got a knot. Okay, back up. And over to the other side. and then just some random up and down stitches to fill in the leaves. It can be as big or small as you want. And I'm just going to go over to the other side and just randomly do them there. I think we're done. Oh, just lost. Okay, so you can see that. That's all done. So let's just tie that off. Okay, there we go. So that's all the leaves done, apart from this down here. But I'm going to work my way down there eventually. Right, so I'm going to look at this next. So I have a Suffolk puff here already, or yo-yo, and I've had to make these because I only had some small ones in my little box of spares. So I've just had to make these. I've just it's a little bit of silk. A silk scarf that I had, and I like them to look old, so I've gone and ironed this as well, just to give it a little bit more of an older look. So that is going to go there. Now I shouldn't really have done these leaves. I should have done these leaves after, but I wasn't thinking. So I'm going to kind of manipulate it around. I think we'll do something with that. That shouldn't be a problem. It's really thin fabric, so it should be able to. I should be able to manoeuvre it. Right, I need some white thread. What's that? That's white. And a needle. Right. I know the colour, the shading is up at the top of the flower, but I just think if I did that, oh, I don't know, it doesn't look too bad actually. Yeah, I think it looks right up there actually. So I need to cover this. So just make sure, yeah. So I'm just going to do really tiny stitches. It's just normal sewing thread. I'm just going to do tiny little stitches all the way round. Just to make sure that it's secure. Right, that's a little bit of the flower there, so I need to make sure that goes there and covers that. That's my needle. Okay, so what I need to do is start to manipulate this round. I think I might just do a little tuck under. too far. Right. Yeah, that's not too bad. So now I'm going to tuck that little bit under. And secure it. Oops. I'm just going to stab myself. We'll be there. Somewhere there, won't we? Oh dear. Right. Okay, let's get the needle in there. Right. Let's tuck some of that under. Secure it. I think that just needs coming out a little bit. There. Right, let's have a look, see how that looks. There, I think, oh no, look what we've done. Right, it needs, okay, so that probably needs tying down a little bit more, which I can do. That's going to be no problem. I just need to make sure that it definitely stays there. So let's, I'm going to secure this bit down here. But I'll come back and, yeah, I'll come back and sort that. It doesn't look too bad actually. Gives it a bit of, let's see what it looks like when I've finished. I think I need to move out a little bit, just this way. See how that one is. See, I've got, what's my needle? Right, let's get this one in and see how we go. Right, okay, so I have got this, I've had to take some of this off. Right, I should have gone up there. Don't think, once that's there, I don't think it's going to matter. I think it's going to be okay. Just this bit here, but I don't think you're going to see it. Once I've done the outline of this, it's going to come up quite close to that anyway, and that could just look like a little bit of background. So I think that would be okay. Right, let's get this back down here. Just make sure I'm not going to show any more of the background fabric. I think that would be okay. So yeah, so that's over that leaf. It's a good job I did that one before I did all this. And then same with this one here. That works out well, I think. And I think we're back up to the top, aren't we? Right, okay, so how does that look? Let's have a look. I think that looks okay actually. That's not too bad at all. I'm going to leave that because flowers do come out, don't they? So they're not flat, they are 3D, so I'm quite happy with that. I like it. So let's finish this off. Let's see what we're going to do next. There we go. Right, so I think my next focus is going to be on these 4 roses here. I'm going to get those done. but that will be for next time. And then this hydrangea here, when I did this one, I only had a little bit of ribbon, and I was kind of like an experiment to start off with. I thought, no, it looks good, I like that, but I haven't got any more ribbon. So all I've got is, I've gone and had a look, and all the kind of pink I've got is this, and I think it's probably too thin, and it's not the right ribbon anyway. So I've ordered some. It's not this colour, because I don't know what colour this is. This was just in an old pack that I had. I don't know what colour it is. So what I've done is, I'm not going to do them the same. I'm going to, this one, I've ordered some, one's called Coral, which I'm hoping is kind of the darker colour, and then a Peach, which is a lighter colour. So this one's going to be contrasted, hopefully. So we'll see how we get on with that when the ribbon arrives. I've had to order it, so it's not arrived yet. And obviously I will be getting my butterfly done. My next focus is on my words. Now I have made some progress, and I think I've about got my verse. So I just wanted to go quickly through this. When I was writing it, I was just thinking of things that reminded me of autumn. So I just put morning dew glistening, spider's webs, autumn harvest, or just different things, colours of autumn that reminded me of. And then over the next few weeks, whenever I thought of something, I just wrote it down. If I didn't have my pad with me, I just wrote it on my notes in my phone. So I've transferred all of my notes from my phone into my book, my book, and I think I've about got my verse. I don't know if I'm going to. It's not rhyming. I did find a word that hold and gold, but I don't know. I don't need it rhyme. It doesn't need to rhyme. So I'm kind of my autumn love in russet and gold. Come, take my hand, lead me from summer's caress to winter's embrace. And then I thought, repeat again, my autumn love in russet and gold. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. I will just fine tune it, but I think I'm about there. So I've also been thinking, how am I going to get it onto my sewing? I've got a few ways that I put words onto my work. I'll give you a few examples. I've got a couple here. I'm going to just stand up just so that I can make sure that you can see. Yeah, okay, so this one here is about snowdrops. And I've got an old typewriter that used to be my mum's. It's really rickety. The letters aren't straight. Can you see that? Yeah, the letters aren't straight, but I love it. It just makes a nice vintagey look. So there's a couple there that I've done with the typewriter. And that's a snowdrop one. There we go. Sorry, couldn't see that. Right. I also here's something that I've not finished yet. My mermaid. I don't know where it is. Where's my mermaid? Right, here it is. Okay. This is a project that is on the go at the moment. I haven't finished it yet. It's the mermaid. She's got all of her sea scrolls around her waves, shells. See that? Yeah. And I did this freestyle machine embroidery, and I did it straight onto the piece, which was quite nerve-wracking. Yeah. And I made several mistakes. I mean, you can see how I didn't get it right. I don't know what happened. The machine hadn't got it set up quite right, and it was quite hard to do, and I had to unpick it a couple of times. So I don't really like sewing directly onto my work, because if I go wrong, you have to unpick it. And because the stitches are so small, it takes, can you see that? Yeah, it takes forever to unpick them. So that's another way that I do use, but I don't really like it. And the last one I've got is this is another one which I've recently finished this year. This again is machine freestyle embroidery, and this goes onto strips of fabric, which I find a lot easier to do. Yeah. So on this one here, these aren't my words, this is a religious quote from Song of Solomon. You are altogether beautiful. So that's done in couching, my love. That's couched as well. There is no flaw in you. So that's kind of a little bit of hand sewing and a little bit of machine embroidery there. So I'm still thinking I might do some machine embroidery and I might do some words. I don't know, I might pick out autumn. So this, I'm kind of thinking it's either my autumn love, which is what I've got in here. So it could be titled that, or it was originally Ode to Autumn. So I'm not sure, but whatever. And then I thought autumn, I might hand embroider. And then here I'll pick out some, this is where my verse is going to go. So I thought title there, and then verse here. Usually when you're writing, this is where your margin goes, but I'm going to use this as my margin. So everything will kind of butt up maybe to that. They'll all be higgledy-piggledy, but then it'll butt up to this somewhere here, I think. So that's where I am at the moment. But I want to get my flowers done first before I do the writing. Yeah, so I think that's about it for today. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching. And I just want to say thank you for subscribing, liking, commenting, watching and everything. It really means a lot to me. So hopefully I'll see you next time. Okay, thanks very much. Bye bye.